Hello! Welcome. Huh. I hope the music isn't too loud. It doesn't seem to be. But yes, so today's cooking stream, and it does appear that everything is working well. So I'm actually going to relax a little bit more. So today's cooking stream is literally because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I put it to a poll on Twitter, and apparently people just wanted me to cook dinner. So this is going into a cooking... The last time I did a cooking stream, I actually had decent preparation. This one I did not. So, this one likely won't have as much of the flair, panache, and or... Oh yeah. Quality of the last one. But yes, so for today's thing that we're cooking, I've had this defrosting overnight. Alright. Yeah, no, it is really hard to like just get into these. Like, it's one of the reasons why I've been considering cutting the Wednesday night stream slot to something a bit easier for me to do. It's just... It's... I don't know, it's interesting. It comes at the end of the day, and I'm always so tired, kind of run down. But it's still fun. Oh, thank you for the follow, Serial Sneaky. Welcome. Which is also weird because the other streams are Sunday morning, and for some reason I'm able to like maintain a brighter and more cheerful overall attitude Sunday morning. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that it's the end of a work day and thus I've been working all day. That could lend to it. But Jesus Christ, that's cold. Okay. We probably don't need this much chicken, but I probably should... I'll probably cut that in half, butterfly that. But yes, I'm going to pan-sear the chicken. And then we'll set that aside, and then we'll do the noodles at the end. Because the noodles don't take that long. The noodles really only take about 2 minutes because they are pre-cooked and then refrozen noodles. Yes. And I decided to get us music that wasn't another Kirby mix again. I keep defaulting back to that one. So also for some reason my pan is falling apart on me. I kind of just have that one same Kirby mix that I use every time I do an IRL or like non-gaming stream. I like it, I enjoy it, but I can understand that it does get old over time. Yes. Now, I believe, actually, here, I'm going to cut the autofocus off for a second. Or the auto frame off for a second. And adjust the camera manually. inch it a little closer and get a different angle on it. Here's to hoping I'm not just going to block the camera with that shot, but oh well. Oh, you know what? I should probably... If I flip that up, I can see, yeah, what the camera sees. Alright. I always forget to actually, like, do a little bit of resharpening before using my knives, but it helps a lot. I always just forget to do it, though. God. There we go. Two somewhat equal pieces of chicken. And at some point, I should probably invest in a better cutting board. I have cutting boards. The problem is that over time, they have absorbed the tastes of so many different foods that I've cut on them, that it's become difficult to use them for things that aren't those foods. Okay, so it isn't blocking it completely, which is good. So this cut really just needs to have this bit trimmed off. The rest of it is pretty much good to go. This one, however, I know has a decent chunk of like tendon in here that needs to be cleaned up a bit. There we go. Those have been cleaned up decently. And pretty much from this point on, I'm just gonna salt and pepper them and move to cooking. Because most of the flavor of the meal is going to come from the broth itself anyway. So, no real need for the meat to be flavored because it's or flavored too heavily because it's hopefully going to absorb most of its flavor from the broth. Gonna pull the camera back out to a wider shot. Alright, now then. Just listening to this music reminds me that once we get that new Animal Crossing update, I probably want to go back and play a bit of that again. It's been a while since I've done Animal Crossing stuff. Like, it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the game. I enjoyed the game. The problem is that, like, at a certain point, I kind of just got everything to how I wanted it. There wasn't anything that I knew of that I wanted to, like, collect or do to my island. So I just kind of, you know, lost interest due to that. Not really due to, like, I know, like, a lot of people were just like, oh, there's no new content, game bad, got boring. Just like, I mean, I'm still just honestly surprised it held on to such a top spot for as long as it did. Like, I understand that people like the game series and enjoy, like, the game, but at the same time, it's not something that I think of whenever I think of things that just, like, hold a large portion of the gaming audience's attention for extended periods of time. It's got a very Minecraft-esque life cycle, I guess would be the term, life cycle. In which it sort of ebbs and flows with different people groups, you know? But I feel like with time, it'll come back to being popular again. I feel like over time, it will shift back into popularity. But you also do have to remember that most people who play video games nowadays, like, you're dealing with goldfish brain, and I don't say that to be like, oh, haha, everyone but me is goldfish brain. No, I'm goldfish brain too. It's just a very commonplace thing that, like, people move from concept to concept and idea to idea very quickly. It's a lot faster than it used to be. And I think that, like, it's not like it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's how our society functions right now. And so just, like, having an understanding of that is kind of expected, I guess. I mean, at the, like, case in point, this entire like website, the fact that they're easily like, I would assume there are easily over 20,000 people live streaming some form of content at this very second, and on top of that, like sheer amount of people streaming something, then there are the sheer number of people watching people stream those things. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's something interesting. For a while, I actually, I had a 24-hour looped version of this that I played while I worked. I'd literally, like, it set up like an alarm where it would start at 8 a.m. and would play the 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and move throughout the day. Even though I wasn't playing Animal Crossing still, I still listened to the music, and that was fun. It was nice. Yes. While that is warming up, I will also just set out to be bringing itself to room temperature. Some chicken broth. I'm probably gonna use the salt and pepper again. I've actually started using celery seed and things. I really do kind of like it. I don't really... It's hard to explain. It's not something I've tasted individually, like, on its own. So it could just be me being dumb, but I think it adds a distinct kind of flavor that I like. At some point I should probably identify whether or not whatever its flavor is. Yes, we're gonna make a sort of soy-based broth. I trust me, there's a very specific reason why I call these streams "Put the Food in the Thing Time." This isn't cooking. This isn't art. This isn't culinary mastery. This is putting food in things and seeing what comes out. I do at the very least enjoy having a black stovetop, because you can use it to tell if things have started smoking or not. Just gonna quickly reset something. Yeah, gotta love it. This one moves through the songs a bit quick for my taste, but it's acceptable, I guess. I would at some point like to get new cooking pans. I feel like that would be helpful in the very least. Because this one's nice, but I've had it since college, and its wear is starting to show because, like, it doesn't, like, the bottom of the pan is not flat. It's kind of got, like, a roundedness to it. So, like, I put any sort of weight on it, like, it's not fully flat, and I feel like it would work a whole lot better if it was. Alright, now we got some smoke on. Alright. And the first rule of cooking is just clean while you cook. Makes things easier in the end. Well, I guess that's probably not the first rule of cooking. First rule of cooking is probably something a lot more basic. Such as, like, don't eat raw meat. My parents got me this book that I've read a little bit of, but then I stopped. So I should, like, at some point now that I'm a bit better about being able to maintain my attention on things, I should probably read all the way through it. Here, let me grab it. It's Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Salman Nosrat. And it's not so much a that's not a good sign. That's not that's not the mark of someone who's cultured. It's not so much a cookbook, just as like a guide and like an understanding of cooking philosophy. I feel like it's a solid book. It's a good read. Problem is that like I haven't really been able to read much like long term for fun. Just because like it's it's difficult for me to do. Alright. Well, that is going. I'm going to make a little bit of broth. Actually, I'll make broth in the smaller pot because I feel like that will be easier in the long run. Like my pots, the pots of this set are still doing fine. Like my pots are fine. Our issue comes down to the pans have not aged gracefully. And that's like I'm not saying that they're bad. That's definitely still my fault. Yeah, no, when I was in college, I did not treat my cookware with respect. I still don't probably treat it with the respect that it needs to survive long term. That could probably be fixed and made better. You know, if I had my way and I did cooking streams more often, I like my biggest issue with these, and while the chicken is cooking, I will show. My biggest issue is that I have these light fixtures like right here in my apartment that I can't get rid of. I can't remove because they're fucking attached to the ceiling all the way fucking up there. So even if I did know how to detach them, I don't have like a ladder to do so. Because I'd love to back the camera up and literally just have a wide shot across my kitchen. The problem is that I've tested those shots out before, and our main issue comes down to those fucking light fixtures are at my head height. If I get behind one of those light fixtures, like my face just disappears. Like it sucks. It really does suck. I wish there was a way that we could remove those. Really do, really do. I am hoping that in my next living quarters, I won't have that. But yes, alright. Trying to get a good position so that I can make the broth and you guys can see that happening. Okay. So I just gotta stay over to this side, alright? If I stay over here, you can see me, but you can also see the things, alright? So we have fat-free, low-sodium chicken broth. It's good. Like, it's not terrible. It's not like a bad idea to use. I'm probably just gonna want to do like a half a pot of this. We'll dilute that a little bit with some water, but we want to keep that nice, thick, brothy consistency. I have no idea what I'm doing. Do not think any of this is intelligent. Yeah. I think my plan from here on out is going to try and be cutting back a bit on the Wednesday night streams. Cutting back a bit on the Wednesday night streams and moving the Sunday night streams a bit earlier. Like, I still want to do the midweek streams, but I feel like I could do more. I don't know. I've done a lot of work recently that I'm proud of getting back into the swing of making non-live streamed content. So back to making edited video content on YouTube and stuff. And that is something I do want to do. And if I can start doing that well enough again, I'll probably start shifting more to that than here, because I feel like the stuff that I enjoy doing the most is stuff like this and stuff like the charity streams and stuff, which by the by, we will be doing. We will still be doing a Q3 charity stream. It will just happen to happen in Q4. Haha, fun. Yes. Oh god, no. But yes, that's 2 teaspoons of chili garlic sauce. If you think that sounds like a terrible idea, you are correct, it is. But yes. Basically, the goal is just to make the Sunday streams my primary time on Twitch, and everything else is for every other time I'm on Twitch is for a larger, more event-based stream, something fun, something exciting, something different, something new. I don't know. That might be a lot to ask. Also, I'm gonna have to turn on the fucking vent because the chicken is cooking, but the stuff coming off the chicken isn't cooking as fast. Yes, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of the chili garlic sauce, and then we're gonna do a little bit of soy sauce. It's like a dash of soy sauce. Or however much of the soy sauce I just put in, whatever that comes out to, like, culinarily, that much. Scratch in a little bit of salt. Yep, that's right. We purchased low sodium chicken broth, and then we put salt in it because that's just what winners do. Put on enough pepper so that you can't see through. Just kidding. Just put on enough pepper that makes you think that it'll be worth it in the end. Because you don't need too much heat from the black pepper because you just put in chili garlic sauce. And you also don't need too much garlic. He says he puts in enough garlic to completely create a film on the top of the broth. Now the celery seeds, those you literally just want a tiny amount. The only thing I add with any level of grace and understanding. And a bit of red pepper flakes. Now we'll bring the broth up to a simmer. I'm hoping that the chicken finishes sometime soon-ish. Also, try and stir around the broth a touch. I'm hearing that strange noise. That's the fan, which is keeping my goddamn smoke alarm from going off. Because I'm a genius, I'm just not smart. Check the internal temp of the chicken, because the outer edges seem cooked, but I've played that game before, and I lost that game before. So I'm not gonna play and lose that game. We'll get a 165 reading, and then see. Yeah, baby. If this doesn't set off my smoke alarm, I will be kind of disappointed in the quality of the build of my smoke alarm. And that is an internal temp of 165 on one piece of chicken. And that is an internal temp of 170 on the other, so congratulations, we have now overcooked the chicken. Success comes in many different forms, and that one is begrudging. Now we're going to use the burner that the chicken was on for the water. Also, I will change the camera angle once I'm done setting the water to start boiling. I'm also trying my best to keep an eye on the broth, because I want it to simmer, not boil. Which is a delicate process that I've actually never really gotten to successfully happen. So many fucking, what are they called? Cooking shows, like, I've tried so much to learn about cooking as best I can, and I still know so little about cooking. And I'm beginning to think if I am just either A, incapable of learning, or B, just really fucking dumb. And you know what? I will be surprisingly fine if the answer comes down to be either. There we go. Down a bit. Perfect. The coughing you hear isn't from any disease. It's from the smoke inhalation from the chicken we burned. I say we because anyone who is watching this willingly is a accomplice and culprit to the absolute atrocity that is being committed here. If I cut this chicken open and it's fucking pink, I'm gonna scream. Because I checked it, but at the same time, that's only one of the many ways that I can fuck up this dish. Can you guys see that? The problem is that, like, technically you can see everything, but you can't see everything, you know? Like, if I was to do a consistent cooking stream, which I feel like would be difficult, but a fun kind of difficult, not a, like, ew effort kind of difficult. Hold on 1 second. Are we finally out of the, No, we're good, we're good, we got good shit. We got fucking so much Animal Crossing left to go. Yeah. Alright. And now for the best part of cooking, the waiting. Now the noodles that we are using are from a wonderful company that makes some really great noodles. Sun Noodle. I am not sponsored by Sun Noodle. I just really like Sun Noodle. If you type !point noodle in the chat, you'll be given a link to go purchase Sun Noodle ramen noodles. It was literally the only thing I did in prep for this. Send you wonderful little packets of noodles that are perfectly serving sized, and then you can be like me and always eat 2 packs of noodles, but we're going to do 1 pack of noodles tonight, and we're going to be good and not fucking overload myself with noodles. Oh, it's simmering. I caught it before it boiled over. I'm slowly becoming better at cooking. It only took however many years I've been alive, minus the ones that I spent stupid. Oh, that is a very... Oh, God. Very fragrant and aromatic broth. That's gonna be fucking spicy as shit. I made a mistake. Oh, that's gonna be fucking spicy. God damn it. I have created the beast that will slay me. Fuck me. I'm actually gonna take it off the heat so that it doesn't heat to a boil. But if you would like to see, as it slowly perforates my fucking nostrils. I can't get a good angle on this, can I? Fuck. I can't get a good angle on it without fucking spilling it, as is, you know, how one does with liquids. There we go. You're fine, you're chill. Stop. Okay, it can boil a little bit, I think. That's fine. I guess that's technically a good thing. Not that much boiling, though. Jesus Christ, no. Stop. Wait a minute. I'm a dumbass. I turned down the burner that's making the boiling water for the noodles, not the burner for the fucking thing that was boiling. I was wondering why there was literally no change in the level of heat. One day I will become smart. Until then, I'm cursed to be as... I might actually just save some of this broth for later. Because if it tastes as good as it smells... If it tastes as good as it smells... Fucking smells great. Please do not immediately start boiling again. Just simmer. I just need you to simmer. Please. This... I'm not adding any more chili garlic sauce because that shit kills. That shit kills really quick. Yes, meat is murder. Philly garlic sauce is very evil. Shit, that is boiling again. Please stop boiling. Thank you. There we go. What if I just put it half on the burner? That could possibly help. Ah. Wrong by some definition. But then again, I technically do wrong things by definitions of many different religions as well. So it comes down to understanding what code of morality you want to live by. And like I say to most people who believe religions that I don't, but also believe that I live my life in a way that is not according to their religion. Yeah. There's also the difference between sentience and sapience. In many cases, one can say that plants have a similar sapience about them as animals, without the lacking, or god damn it, did I already get those confused? Fuck. Anyway. But also, it then also comes down to, I did not kill this chicken. I did not raise this chicken. I did not slaughter this chicken. If I had never existed, this chicken would still die. Attacking people who eat meat and attacking the consumers of an industry is foolish and pointless, as it really does not stop the cause. In a lot of different ways, or in a lot of ways, it isn't as different, or isn't so different compared to different environmental issues, where a lot of people want to place the blame and place the onus of climate change on the consumers, the people who require different things from the companies that cause major amounts of pollution, rather than the companies that cause major amounts of pollution themselves. The overall attacking of the consumer in that instance doesn't make all that much sense, as in the end, they can't personally stop the company from doing that. So, I don't know if Tyson Chicken streams on Twitch, but you could probably go find them and give them a shouting out. That'd probably do about the same, but maybe a bit more, feasibly. It's like I hired a hitman. That's an interesting way of putting it, however, similarly incorrect, as I did not personally contract out that chicken's death. I did not select that chicken for death. There are many evils in this world. One can fight against all of them, or one can fight against the ones that they choose, but in the end, it comes down to what efforts you make and what efforts matter. Fair point. But by that logic, my tax dollars have effectively killed more humans than I could ever count. Leading to the assumption that maybe in fact it isn't even my fault that the dollars do that. Maybe it's the fault that we live in a society that is run on a system that allows for money to be exchanged for certain goods and services that, if they were technically morally evil, shouldn't be done. All I'm saying is that maybe if you just started pointing your ire at the capitalist system and less at the people who are forced to live and operate within it, you might find A, a bit more headway in convincing people to be on your side, and B, a better target for your anger and your effort. But sure, it's a whole lot easier to go find a one viewer cooking stream on the bottom of the fucking food and drink category and go nuts. A fun and interesting pattern of life you've chosen. Oh, God. A capitalist animal rights activist. Jesus Christ, I feel sorry for you. I hate to break it to you, but the people who do the most to maintain the capitalist system often happen to be on the same side as the people who are fighting for legislation to ensure the maintenance of the farming industry in general. I don't really think you're going to convince anybody. You see, that's the problem. Most of the people who have decided to be carnivores and to eat meat have created their moral hierarchy in their mind and have set different things that they care about and have concern about. At that point, you're then fighting against the effort of encouraging people to, I guess, completely reevaluate the entirety of, I guess, the entirety of their moral structure, their moral hierarchy. It's not just that, like, if I was to say one day that, yes, eating meat is evil, that means I then have to go back through and start questioning every other moral decision of lesser consequence that I've made in between that and where I'm at. And that is a lot of different soul searching that I personally do not have the effort for. So if I am evil by virtue of laziness, and that's about it. I am a terrible, evil person by both your standards and the standards of pretty much every major religion. Understanding that doesn't make me bad, good, or anything. It just makes me understand that, yes, some people don't agree with me. Now run along, there are other one-viewer streams that are likely cooking with meat too. You better go catch them before they get away. Yes. Did you know also, weirdly enough, humans die horrifically too? And also, there are lots of different groups that advocate for that. I donate and give charitably to a lot of groups that ensure human rights and human life are more appreciated in our time. There are more important things. But I will also, for one last thing, if you're going to sit here and march on meat is murder, people who eat things are evil, you also then need to take a step back and rethink your whole capitalism is fine. No, capitalism encourages the overabundance of industrialized meat processing, massive amounts of food that we don't eat. Sure, this chicken was killed by my dollars, but there are many, many, many other chickens that are also killed by my and the rest of all of our dollars that aren't even eaten. We live in a system that literally will eat itself alive, that creates atrocities and then creates so many atrocities that you either have to A, become lazy and stop caring about the ones that don't directly impact you, or B, drive yourself into a stress-filled panic trying to make sure that all of the different things that you care about are on the forefront of your mind at all times. God, I did not think this was going to be a Cooking with Hassan stream, but in the end, we get what we get. Slippery slope nonsense? Fine. You come into here wanting to have an argument. You come into here wanting to convert somebody or convince somebody as to your view being correct. And yet you are also completely incapable of seeing any other argument as swaying your view. You come in here completely inflexible and expect me to be the flexible one. And when I'm not, you say that my inflexibility makes me even more wrong because it's inflexible. It's it's mean, and you should stop. Now here's to hoping this actually all simmered together properly. One could hope. Actually, I'm gonna leave that on the heat a little bit longer. It seems to all have mixed together properly, but I'm not sure if it's fitting. Oh well. There we go. It was a fun discussion, but at a certain point it just becomes pointless. And if I wanted to argue all night, I have plenty of other friends that I could argue with that at least will come at things with some modicum of understanding and reason. Granted, with a username like MeatisMurder1, I'd be very unsurprised if MeatisMurder2 doesn't pop in sooner or later. Yeah, no, like I feel like that makes sense. I feel like the understanding of the demands of the argument starter for other people to be flexible. like that expectation. Yeah, no, who was the original MeatisMurder? And also it's MeatisMurder with underscores. So there's also separations there that could have led to another MeatisMurder somewhere down the line. Like, I dealt with a lot of people like that person in college. There were a lot of different like animal rights activists and stuff. And it's just like, yes, sure, fine. You basically have to start treating them in this with the same like tools and methodologies that you treat people who come talking about their different religions. Like it's hard. It's a chore. It's literally they're literally asking you to convert to their way of thinking. And it's it's hard. Oh, I'm sorry that your gym session didn't go well. Yeah, no. It was a decently quiet stream until they showed up. I was hoping, I was genuinely hoping when I saw their name, like, it was a possibility that, like, I saw their name, I was like, there's a possibility that they're probably a shitty person, and they're just gonna come in here and try and fucking argue and preach on veganism. Uh, but I hoped for, like, a second that it was just gonna be a fucking joke. Like their name was a joke name, and it was just gonna be like a oh haha funny stream. It's I'm making jokes about vegans. Ew, that's no fun. Was that Big Jim or Little Jim? If that was Big Jim, like you should have definitely like reported them to the management. Ugh. Also, like, what does? Yeah, no. If it was Big Jim, you should have reported them to the management. Like that, that kind of shit shouldn't be allowed to happen in a place like that. Huh. It's weird how insert gym chain name does all of their pushing to make sure that people like see their gym chain as like a good place for like without harassment or like anyone can work out here and feel good about it and safe, and then like shit like that happens and they're just like there's not much we can do. But I'm sorry. I understand how like the gym is usually a place where you try and get some relaxation and stress relief, and I understand that that would probably make that a lot more difficult. We'll save that for later. Another day. Alright. There is just like but yes, in the end, before I go to eat this on my own, I will show stream. This is what we made. Trying to tip it in a way that won't spill. I'm not going to do that fucking thing that all streamers do when they're asked to show the food. But yes, the homemade broth. I actually, before we end, I will taste the broth and tell you guys how it came out. Oh. Remember, at the beginning of this, when I was adding the ingredients, and I put in 2 tablespoons of chili garlic sauce, and I said I'm only putting in 2 because there's a very high likelihood that 2 is probably too much. Guess what? Two teaspoons. It's too much. Oh man, that. Oh, I can breathe. Oh my god, I can breathe. Yeah, no, I normally, like, once I finish ramen, I like drink the broth. I'm probably going to not do that with this one. But yes, before my meal gets cold, I'm going to go eat that. So I'd like to thank everybody who came out to watch. Even our new favorite vegan who came out to just be really weird, and like the amount of effort, the amount of like prepared like argumentative defense, like that kind of shit. I understand that. I do that with wait a minute, hold on. Come here, you. Yeah. You wanna say hello? You wanna say hello? Or goodbye? Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I gave you that ramen, you would die. You would die. But yeah. Oh, somebody wants down. Oh, freedom. Freedom for the cat. Alright. But yes, I'm going to go eat my food. Thank you everyone for coming out to watch, and yeah. Eat whatever you want. Whatever your religion lets you, or whatever your morality lets you, just eat what you want. And don't focus on what other people eat. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go find a one-streamer stream to harass mercilessly.